The Fox NFL Pre-Kick is presented by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. And the Denver Broncos are back home to take on their AFC West rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders, here on Fox. One of the NFL's best pass rushers has returned for the Raiders in Max Crosby, hoping to lead Las Vegas to a road win. Hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Daryl Johnston, I'm Kevin Kugler. And Daryl, when you look at this Broncos team, they're happy to be back home. They were on the road for 2 full weeks, but they got 2 big road wins.
2 very impressive wins. Great job by them on the road, coming back home here today. The reason why, really, Vance Joseph and this defense, a lot of pressure. They're going to make the Raiders think all day long. They're second in the NFL with sacks. So the last time we had a day like this when the Broncos played was 2 weeks ago. Bo Nix has his best game of the season. Do we see Sean Payton loosen that leash a little bit for Bo Nix this afternoon?
Well, meanwhile, for the Raiders, they got a big win last week in their own right, leaning on a strong running game, and they did it maybe most impressively without their best offensive player or their best defensive player.
A very impressive win against Cleveland last week, and really the big thing, no Max Crosby, no Devontae Adams. That's very, very impressive. That run game you talked about, 153 yards the first 3 weeks, 152 last week. Very creative. Wide receivers playing a big role, but you got to have that passing game to go along with it. It will be a challenge today for Gardner Minshew. We talked about that pressure defense. A lot of man, and he struggled in that style this season.
Well, we focus on the defensive side with our nationwide players to watch, and we start with Max Crosby, who has returned to the lineup with 55 sacks in his career. Meanwhile, for Denver in that defense, a lockdown corner is needed. Pat Surtain is that lockdown corner. This is one of the great rivalries in the National Football League. So much history between these 2 teams. We write another chapter here in Denver today. Raiders and Broncos coming up on Fox.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
For a few matchups in this league, there are just players and coaches that resonate louder than others. That is definitely the case with the rivalry between the Raiders and Broncos. It's one of those games that just means more. And for the Broncos, they're trying to snap an 8-game winning streak by the Raiders today, but it means more to fans. It also means a little bit more to players, and with more on what it means and why one player had to get back for it, we say hello to Laura Oakman.
Hi, Kevin. I reached out to Max Crosby this week and said, you missed your first ever game, a big division opponent. Is there any way you're going to miss this one? He responded with an old school Michael Jordan meme, simply saying, I'm back. I asked him pregame limitations, pitch count. His answer, quote, hell no. They won last week without him, and Antonio Pierce got what he wanted then and wants to see now, saying, I love the Max Crosby show, but we're not going to be a great defense or team if the next guy doesn't step up.
And last week without him, there were some guys that stepped up, helping the Raiders get to 2-2. A log jam behind the Chiefs in the AFC West. Antonio Pierce and Sean Payton ready to go to work. Denver won the toss. They've elected to defer. So we're going to defer our time with Max Crosby on the field for the moment, as Gardner Minshew and this Raiders offense will take the field. DJ Turner and Amir Abdullah, the deep men for the Raiders. And on a perfect day in Denver, we are underway on Fox. It's Amir Abdullah who will take a knee. And the touchback gets the Raiders offense started, and we start with Gardner Minshew. How about the start to his season? 71% completion percentage for Gardner Minshew, who's now 17-24 in his career as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, but one of the big things today, he's going to see a lot of man-to-man coverage, and that rating comes down a little bit when you mix that in with the zone that he has seen. Remember, this is the first year in this offense. It takes time. He referenced a play during the course of the season where he called the audible, thought they had an opportunity for a big play, but the communication is still just not there yet.
No Zamir White today. He's inactive, so the load in the run game goes to Alexander Madison. Swing pass on first down to Brock Bowers, the talented rookie.